Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to the PR Ratings 2-1 win over West Brom. Keg starts off with Karl Darlow.
He didn't really have that much to do. I think what he dealt with well. I think it's another good performance you can put it down to. Another one, pretty much. Like I haven't seen him play a bad performance all season. The goal, I don't really think there's anything he could have done. Like the defending was poor. I think Jamal Lewis left them open, and it was a driven strike right into the bottom corner. It was a great strike from Furlong, to be fair. It was like nowhere near his reach, so there's nothing he could have done about that. So unfortunately, not a clean sheet. So very satisfactory 7.
Fair enough.
Emil Krafth.
Shite. Absolute shite. Got put on toast for the West Brom goal where before Furlong does come in and gets his toe at the end of it. He's caught. It's good play, to be fair. It's a dummy by the West Brom player. Leaves him for dead. But all day he just looked off the pace. It's very good he hasn't played much. He hasn't played much, but he gets a lot of stick. I think he's okay most of the time. I think he does the job. But today, he wasn't good enough against one of the worst teams in the league. He just wasn't good enough. You won't get many easier days in the Premier League against West Brom's attacking line. I mean, there's going to be a lot harder games. Every other Premier League opposition's got better wingers and strikers, to be fair. So he's struggling against West Brom. It's a bit of a worry, bit of a concern. Yeah. So I thought, I don't know why Murphy didn't keep his place. He's done really well. Yeah. And obviously, he showed it when he came on later on. You got Yedlin there, who I wouldn't want to see Yedlin play either, anyways, because of the way he behaved after post-lockdown. He wasn't asked in the black and white top, but Krafth today, I give him a 3.
Yeah, I probably agree. Centre-back Isaac Hayden.
Unreal.
Yeah, I thought he had an absolute solid game. Like, when he plays centre-back, he usually does have a good game. I think, like, the spotlight's on him a little bit more because he's out of position, but it's not a position he's too unfamiliar with. I'm sure he played a couple of times there when he was youngster at Arsenal, and he's helped cover us for the 3-4 times in the past. I don't know, but yeah, I think because I think people expect him not to have a good game because he's out of position. Like, I think you pay more attention, and he's actually a very good centre back. He got involved with everything today. There was nothing he could have done about the goal we conceded, so there's no fingers to point at him there. He was getting involved in everything. Great interceptions, clearances. He seemed to be in the right place at the right time every time called upon. So, yeah, absolute solid performance, really, from Isaac Hayden, and particularly for helping cover, only having one fit, known centre-back in the entire squad, none on the bench, for him to step up and probably be the best in the back line. I think you've got to give him an 8.
Solid interceptions throughout. So important, Isaac Hayden in Newcastle.
Yeah. And the only centre-back, Ciaran Clark?
Ciaran Clark, I don't know. I think he did all right, but he went missing a couple of times, I think. I mean, there was one moment when Austin was greedy. He was on the edge of the box and he should have fed through Gallagher. Thankfully, he didn't. Gallagher was free and Clark was just no man's land. Totally stuck. Didn't know where that come or go, leave him. But at the end of the day, well, solid enough. West Brom didn't get really cut through with. I mean, if he's not, he should be shouting at Lewis, letting him know that there's a man on that field under him. But Lewis, again, shouldn't just be ball watching. Clark today did okay. I give him a 5.
Aye, fair enough. And we'll get on to Jamal Lewis. I think he's potentially one of the bigger talking points in a negative aspect today. I think the little scuffle, I think the little wrestling match that he had with Darnell Furlong in the first half was the changing point. I think that completely got into his head. I don't even know what that was all about. It seemed extremely unnecessary. It was off the pitch. It was about half an hour in, 1-0. It wasn't like a top of the table clash, a massively relegation battle scrap. It wasn't a derby. It just seemed like a very unnecessary little scuffle. And it really got into his head. I think he was very lucky not to get sent off. I think if VAR took a look at it, he did raise his hand and like put his hand in his face. It was nothing, but we've seen that particularly over the last week or two. VAR get involved and you get sent off for that. You can't raise your hands to people's faces. So I think he was a very, very lucky boy to stay on the pitch after that. It was stupid. And I think like that battle continued a little bit throughout the game. And I think it really, really got into his head. I think Furlong was getting the better of him and none more so than the goal. It was a long looping ball in. It seemed like he had loads of time to to deal with it one way or another, get his head on it, clear it with his right foot. But like you said, like Clark could have maybe helped him out. The lad hasn't got eyes in the back of his head. His awareness should have been better, but he could have also had help from his teammates as well. But just to try and scoop it away, like coming across and get it away with the outside of his preferred left foot, was the absolute wrong thing to do. I think that was rookie of him, very inexperienced, and I think the inexperience of letting someone get into your head who's just going to hump you up the line all day needs to do better than that. So I was a bit disappointed in him today, considering he's actually really been impressing me. I think we've mentioned, like, particularly at the start of the season, defensively he hasn't been great. He's great getting forward, etc. The last 2-3 games, I think he's been really, really good defensively. But today, I think he's I think the inexperience shows that he's still quite young. He's just got a lot more experience to gain, so I'll have to give him a 4.
Jesus, that's the Strawberry Pub league defending from fucking Lewis today, man. Ball watching and that stuck in the mud. Shocking for me, Lewis today. Especially after he played the ball up for the first goal as well, where we got it, but his head did go after that incident. Like, he should have been brought off on that yellow, I think. Probably should have been substituted before he did. Yeah,
it was probably a good change from Brucey to make sure he was the first one off. He was changed on about 69 minutes for the goal scorer, Dwight Gayle. A good attacking move. We'll get on to Bruce and we'll get on to Gayle later on. But I think after that, like I said, he was lucky to be on the pitch. I think we'll say, like, there's a red card in it either for Lewis or Furlong. Probably for Lewis. I think it got into his head more than anyone. So I think he was walking very, very thin ice after that incident.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ritchie.
Good, Matt Ritchie, to be fair, putting himself about the pitch. Particularly, I liked it when he just handed the ball and the referee was shit scared to challenge him and they quickly took a free kick.
Good old Matt Ritchie.
And Ritchie was screaming in Lewis's face too late after he conceded the goal, which he was having a go at him. Ritchie, I thought he had a good game today. He put himself about and was on the ball trying to make things happen, because a lot of players had a quiet game. I think Ritchie did okay. I'll give Ritchie a 6.
Yeah, I thought he was decent. Just typical Ritchie, just an absolute aggressive little pit bull.
Graph
that. In the middle, Jonjo Shelvey. I think it was a bit of an up and down game for Shelvey. I think in parts, particularly in the early second half, he seemed to have gone missing. I think we pointed out that both him and Sean Longstaff were completely absent for quite a large period of the game. But I think as the game went on, I think towards the end he started to get into it. I think he was making some good passes. He was getting a lot more space in the middle of the field, playing it out onto the left-hand side. And I'm looking at the side here, and apparently he made 54 passes the day. Didn't actually think he would have made that many, because I think for most of it he seemed to have gone absent. He seems to be getting a lot of praise on social media. I didn't really think he had that good of a game. You know what?
The last 20 minutes he was a lot better, because I remember before we made those subs, I was saying, like, Shelvey needs to get on the ball more, and then literally a minute later he drove at and he started picking up balls and putting them out wide. He turned up, like, as always. It's like split personality, Jonjo Shelvey. He didn't do an out, really, apart from the odd moment first off, and then 70th minute he comes live last 20 minutes and made some good passes, started carrying the ball forward.
Yeah, I think for the way the game finished, I'd probably give him a 7, but I think overall for his full 90-minute display, I'll give him a 6. His partner, Sean Longstaff.
Didn't do anything for me. Like, he was really quiet. I thought very early on, first 5-10 minutes, he was trying to do the nitty-gritty stuff in midfield. He was trying to win the ball. He was trying to do the simple stuff which you need sometimes. But I just couldn't. He was like the Hendrick the day for me. I just couldn't see the point in him. He wasn't doing anything. He had one long-range effort that was decent, on target. In terms of breaking a play or creating chances, no, didn't do anything for me today. Give him a 4.
As usual.
Unless it's in the cup.
Miguel Almirón, he looked dead up front today. Like, I'm pleased to see that kind of Miggy back. I think the last time we seen him, I think just after he came back from his last international break, Callum to come back, and he was just a bit disappointing, really. He just didn't really do what we wanted him to do, but that was unbelievable. A goal after, I think it was 19 seconds that was recorded. Brilliant finish. He really looked up front today. He looked comfortable. He had like a few shots on target. just really looked like he was going for it. I think there was a period, I think like everyone did at the start of the second half, where he kind of went a little bit quiet. But I think it's a really good overall performance, and the goal early on to really set the mood of the game was huge. And I think like the Miguel Almirón of a year ago, I think it was almost a year to the day. I think it was about the 21st of December last year. He scored his first goal. Like the Miguel Almirón of a year ago would have missed that. There's no chance he would have scored that goal, but he just couldn't hit a fucking barn door to save his life. But that was a confident Almirón, and Almirón really, really up for a performance today, and I think he gave that. So I'll give him a 7.
He's a proper workhorse on any RB on the day. Was causing problems for West Brom, especially early on, running past people, running in the lanes, good link-up play, all the way up and down the side of the pitch. I thought he was really, really good, the Almirón, and like you say, took his goal really well, slotted it, curled it, left bottom corner. Lovely stuff. Loves a goal against West Brom. Miguel Almirón scored 2 in the FA Cup, didn't he?
He did, 3 in 2 games.
All
right. Joey?
Head was gone after missing a chance that he should have scored. Highlighted again the fact that he's not a striker. Did well early on. I think he was still brimming with confidence from previous weeks. Linked up well with Wilson for the first goal, because it's an amazing through ball in Almirón. It's perfect. The pace of the pass, the accuracy of the pass, it's absolutely perfect from Joelinton. And then he does the hard part for a goal that he should score. He waits, he cuts back, he beats his defender, and then he goes for the near post. Like, it is a tight angle, but you've got to be, from that distance, you've got to be burying it from there. And then from then, I think his confidence dropped again. It's one of them. You know, footballer's game is hugely built on confidence, and his just fluctuates too much. He takes too many things to head and heart, I think, and he just couldn't get into it after that. There's times where Wilson grafts so hard, and you need Joey to be hand up, beating a man from post, cutting back, giving an option, and he's just doing nothing. He's just standing behind defenders. And you've seen the difference it made when we had a striker and Gayle come off as well, who can make those striker-like runs. Joelinton's not that. He dropped to the left mid later on, probably looked more comfortable there. But it's still a good game. I give him a 6.
Yeah, I think the first 25, 30 minutes, I thought he played really, really well. I think we were giving him praise. He was doing what he does, linking up with his partner, Callum Wilson, which I think he really, really needs. Almirón as well. Like, the lot of them were linking up really well. I thought he was putting in a great shift, but as you talk about confidence, I think once he missed that chance, when it went out for a corner, the camera was on him and his head was down, and he never really picked it up after that. Like, his head was completely gone after that one chance. Like, this is football. It's a 90-minute game. Like, they're not defined by one moment. Like, it was disappointing. He should have scored, yes, but he had like 60 minutes to turn it around and get another goal, pick up his head and continue the performance that he was on, because he was doing really, really well up until that point. But his head was gone after that moment. Like. And his partner, Callum Wilson, I think had another frustrating game today. I thought he'd done really, really well when he was on the ball, what he could do. He showed a lot of strength today. I think his strength and pace goes massively unnoticed, massively underrated, his strength. I think he held off their defenders really well, but he just didn't really have any chances. Like, we know Callum Wilson, he's got a great strike record this season. I think for how many shots he's scored, I think he's only missed one shot. Like, every other shot he's had's been a goal, not just on target. He's been putting them away. He's been clinical. So he just clearly didn't have any chances today. I think he was done well on the ball. He was getting forward. There was a couple of moments in the second half where he was driving into the final third. He had 2 or 3 men around him. He was beating them. He was quite comfortable on the ball, but he was just looking for an option. Joey wasn't giving it because his head was down. There was just no one around. Like, the best thing he could do was win a corner. Fucking absolute 10 out of 10 for winning corners today. He was brilliant at that. The just option wasn't there. There's not much really you can do. Like, he's a striker that feeds off chances. When you're not getting the chances, the only thing you can do is try and work hard in the middle of the field, which I think he did well today. So it's disappointing. I'd like to see more chances created to him. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 for his effort. I thought he worked really, really hard today. I
thought he was class, man. I like to see he didn't have any chances given to him, but his work rate, his runs in between the lanes, he's battling the defenders, his strength, he's beating off big blokes, he's beating off experienced blokes, and Branislav Ivanovic, he had his life.
He
would have had an assist if someone was fucking near him to get in the box with him. Do you know what I mean? They give him a chance, but it's a shame he didn't have any chances to keep up his goal scoring run. But his work rate in that is brilliant. And his all-round play, his hold-up play, I mean, was class.
Yeah. First change of the day, the winner, Dwight Gayle.
Yeah. Game changer, secured the package. Yeah, did me favours, got the money. I chucked him on £5 when he came off the bench next draw. Back, so shout out Dwight, thank you for some free beers and that for the boxing. Unbelievable. I mean, really stating his claim, really stating his claim and giving Brucey something to think about, giving him a headache because he's fit now and he wants in. He knows Joey and Wilson maybe have this partnership building. Gayle wanted to disrupt that and good on him. Came off the bench, took his chance brilliantly. Took 2 chances really. He had one teared off the lane before he got that goal. But what a bullet header that is off the bar. Just knew it though because West Brom, let's be honest, are championship opposition. They're going to go down. Gayle's going to score because the championship opposition. But that doesn't take away how good that finishes because no matter who that against, to beat his defender and beat the goalkeeper, that's beating anyone that. And he was brilliant when he came off. Absolute game changer. What an impact! So we couldn't ask for anything more. 10.
Yeah, no. For 21 minutes work, 2 great chances on target, bullet headers. Like that header from the corner, that was his first touch of the game. I think it was on the pitch about 12 seconds. What a header that was. Beat the goalkeeper, all ends up. Just unfortunately, that was a man on the line to clear it away. It's great to have more option. They are on the bench today, like in the full squad. We had every striker available in Wilson, Joelinton, Gayle, and Carroll. It's good to have option, give Brucey that headache. And Gayle is frustratingly inconsistent for me because, let's say, after lockdown last season, he was great. He was scoring great goals. Then, I think he's too injury prone as well. I think he gets forgotten about when he's out for a long period of time. You kind of forget about him at times, but then he comes back and he's back on the scene. Great performance from him today. I'm happy he's back. I hope he really does stake a claim for the next game. We've got 2 games in the next week, so if he gets a start in either one of them, I'll be quite happy to see him.
Definitely.
And the man that put in the ball for him, Jacob Murphy, I thought he made a difference when he came on. It was for Emil Krafth on the 79th minute. Obviously, Krafth didn't have the greatest of games. For Murphy to go right back, not right wing back, where I think he's better because obviously he's a winger, not a defender. But I really think he made a difference because Krafth was a bit stuck in the mud. He was just a bit slow, lackadaisical, didn't offer anything going forward. He was a bit slow in defence. But Murphy, I thought his effort was amazing. I think we needed that spark, that energy to get forward. And it was such a ball, proper Beckham 98. Fucking incredible cross. And the finish as well, like Dwight Gayle, he's a short lad. I don't think you really define him as a good header of the ball, a bit of a fox in the box. He's great at tapping them in the 6-yard area, but that header, but it was the cross that made it. The cross was inch perfect. Great impact, only 11 minutes, but yeah, what a sub, what an impact. Give him a 7 for a minor cameo. There was one last change. DeAndre Yedlin didn't really get same, to be honest. Team went right back to push Murphy a little bit further up. And big Brucey.
Well, if we're going on substitutions, they obviously got with the win. Murphy and Gayle linking up together, so for that, he deserves credit. But half-time again, what's he doing? What's he saying? His Bilic is half-time. He's give them the ball again. Tell them the shot, not so much respect. Get out with them. They could cause something. They do it straight away. You know, the second half, they came out firing. Ritchie couldn't ask for a better start. Go 1-0 up, 20 seconds in. And then it's just a case of not commanding the game, not dominating the game. We're playing one of the worst sides at home. Get the second goal up with 1, probably nick another 1 or 2 from there. Easy win. But it's a bit hesitant. It's a bit, I mean, these subs, I think Murphy should have started over Krafth. Luke probably should have been brought off earlier. But never mind, I don't want to be too negative. You know, it's Saturday night with 1. He made the changes. Murphy, great ball, and Gayle, great goal. Be interested to see what he does next Wednesday for me when he's coming up against Bielsa. Hopefully, he can, down for a glass of wine with Bielsa the night before, get some tips off and get too pissed or something. But
he loves spilling than Bielsa. He just tell you what he's doing.
And to be fair, you could tell now, and it wouldn't matter, would it really? So Brucey the day, I give him a 7.
Yeah, it was frustrating, like I say, especially the half-time team talk coming out into the second half. It was absolutely shocking, but it's these substitutes that saved him, and we give him stick for his substitutes all the time. They're either too late or they're too like for like. But the day he got it bang on, and it was them changes that got with 3 points. So I gotta give him credit the day.
Yeah. That's it. That's it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Player Ratings. Make sure you pop yours in the comments below. I'll try to reply them tomorrow. I'll be cracking in there, get the scores in there, get what you thought of the game. Make sure you check out the rest of the videos that we've put out for you today. Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV and enjoy.